Most people want to have more money and be richer. Many people wonder how the wealthy get richer in a world where average people and average salaries exist. So, who wouldn't dream of being rich to stop working, indulge in shopping sprees, and go on endless vacations? Of course, the greed for money is bad. But who wouldn't want to live life to the fullest and enjoy every moment without falling into greed and thinking about money? In these days when our purchasing power is decreasing, if your job feels like torture, you are more likely to succumb to these dreams. However, the rich do not have such a problem. Even in a crisis, they can somehow increase their wealth. But how? The wealthy know how money works and avoid careless spending that depletes their bank accounts. They manage to take risks when necessary and remain cautious when needed. They focus on long-term independence and wealth. Those who become rich from scratch are not the smartest people on the planet. They are individuals who have mastered some key principles that help them accumulate wealth and stay rich. So, you don't need to be very smart to be wealthy. Most importantly, wealthy people see wealth as a learnable skill and develop habits that help them preserve their fortunes. Yes, friends, you are on the Global Thought YouTube channel. We would be very happy if you subscribe before starting the video. Here are 7 things that the rich do and the poor do not. 7. Rich people read books. Poor people watch television. I find television very educational. Every time someone turns on the TV, I go into another room and read a book. Groucho Marx. How many hours do you spend in front of the television? When was the last time you read a book, or how many books do you read in a year? Poor people entertain themselves by watching Netflix and other shows. Or they play computer games or waste time on social media. They stretch out on the nearest couch and let an electronic device alert them. Rich people educate themselves. They acquire new information and always try to learn new things. You should not forget that reading books is not just about reading romance novels or fiction, because those are for entertainment, not for gaining knowledge on how to become rich. Rich people read books that will bring them closer to their goals. 6. The rich have morning routines. The poor wake up whenever they want. Morning is an important time of the day. How you spend your morning often determines how your day will go. Poor people do what comes to their mind first when they wake up in the morning. They usually check their phones, and then maybe they get stuck on their phones for half an hour or an hour while still in bed. They will probably have breakfast much later, watch TV, or curl up in bed to message some friends. But rich people don't do that. They are the ones who realize that when they structure their mornings correctly, they can accomplish more in 2 hours than most people can in 24 hours. That's why they have a morning routine. To express this in definitive terms, it would be wrong to say they do this and that as a routine. It's different for everyone. However, while many wealthy people wake up at 5 a.m. and go to the gym, some wake up at 10 a.m. and go for a morning walk. The common point of all their morning routines is that they use their natural rhythms to prepare for success. Decide what you will do in the first hours of the day to reach the point where the rich are. Are you going to stick to your phone right away? Or will you stick to the process that will help you achieve your goals and take action? Either way, having a routine is good. 5. Poor people think about the hours worked. Rich people think about the value created. The money you earn is a symbol of the value you create. When you ask a poor person if they were productive today, their answers are in terms of hours worked. I worked 7 hours at the job today. I spent 3 hours on this project. I spent about 2 hours cleaning the house today. When you ask a wealthy person if they were productive today, their answer is in terms of added value. For example, I also sent my final product today. I cleaned the entire house. Poor people are paid for the hours they work, while rich people are paid for the added value they provide. The wealthier you are, the less important the hours you work become. The value you produce becomes important. Stop thinking in terms of hours worked to do what the rich do. Start evaluating your productivity based on how much work you accomplish. 4. Poor people think their bodies are distracting. Rich people think their bodies are a tool. Those who think they don't have time for physical exercise will eventually have to find time for their illnesses. Poor people do not take proper care of their bodies for a large part of their lives. They eat fast food because it is quick, or they have unhealthy diets. Additionally, they do not exercise because it takes too much time. They believe their time could be better spent in other ways. In contrast, rich people know that their bodies are their most important tools. If their bodies are not functioning properly, they themselves will not function properly for the rest of their lives. The wealthy prioritize their bodies. They prepare and eat healthy meals. Even during their busiest times, they try to exercise regularly. To do what the wealthy do, treat your body as a priority, not an afterthought. You can go to the gym a few times a week for this. You can download a workout app and do gymnastics at home. It is also beneficial to try to eat green, fresh things instead of fast food restaurants. Third, poor people try to get their work done one day before the deadline. Rich people work every day, even if it's just a little. If you had started something 2 weeks ago, you would be 2 weeks better at it today. Poor people have a reactive attitude towards work. Before the deadline, they try to finish with panic and high effort. They wait until the last minute to work and submit their tasks at the last moment. They always react to the deadlines imposed by life. In contrast, rich people control the world around them instead of reacting to it. When they have a task to complete by next week, they do a little bit each day. When they need to study for an exam, they start studying regularly from the moment they learn about the exam. When their boss asks for a work product, they deliver it early. While rich people know that success is the result of consistent effort day by day, poor people fundamentally believe that success is the result of some extraordinary effort. To adopt rich people behavior, stop delegating everything to new plans and projects. Instead, focus on consistency. Choose a small goal and repeat it every day. For example, practice English for 30 minutes. Draw a small picture. Write a short article. Every day for 30 minutes. Doing this will teach you much more English than working 6 hours a day. In summary, consistency is one of the most important secrets of this work. 2. Poor people do not control their money. Only the rich do. Having balance in your money is the key to having enough money. Poor people are not in charge of their money. They do not have a financial system that shows where and when all their money goes. They may have a rough idea of how much and what they spend, but they only make guesses and react accordingly. In contrast, the rich control their money. They have analog or digital indicators or accounts to see where all their money is at any given time. When they receive payments, they immediately try to transfer money to savings and investment accounts. Except for a very small minority, some wealthy individuals did not become rich by chance or for other reasons. Those who later became affluent did not succumb to the hardships of life when they were poor. Instead, they achieved this wealth by regularly monitoring where their money was going. To do what the wealthy do, learn where all your money is going. Calculate exactly how much money you spend each month. Understand exactly what you are spending on. This way, try to identify the black holes in your budget and maintain control. Rich people focus on investing. If the poor have savings, they are exposed to inflation. We all know the famous billionaire investor Warren Buffett, who has gained wealth from his investment portfolio. When you research other wealthy individuals, you see the number of different investments they make. If you plan to save your money and not convert it into valuable investments, it is very difficult to become rich. For example, let's assume you earn $100,000 each year and leave your money in the bank. To become a millionaire, you would need to save all the money you earn over the next 10 years. Of course, inflation and potential emergencies will make this even harder. Therefore, the idea of letting all your profits accumulate in the bank doesn't make much sense. Instead, you should dedicate part of your money to educating yourself on how to improve your budget and focus on creating another source of income or cash flow. Savings are not a source of income. They are a delayed expense. If you do nothing with your savings, your money will lose value while sitting in the bank. Do these habits make you rich? Of course, it would be very bold to say that you will definitely become rich just by following these steps. After all, many rich people do not do this. There are many wealthy children who spend their time playing video games, dressing very expensively, or enjoying luxury. What unites these activities is not that they make you rich, but that doing or not doing them can significantly increase your chances of success. Now imagine someone who is walking, reading, exercising, eating healthily, and making consistent efforts. Compare them to someone who is not walking, not reading, not exercising, not eating healthily, and not making consistent efforts. Both have the same goal they want to achieve. Which of these people do you think has a higher chance of success? Of course, not everyone's goal is to become rich. But if you've watched this video up to this point, this is one of your goals. If that's the case, giving up these bad habits and replacing them with beneficial ones will greatly increase your chances of success. Thank you for watching the video. You can support us by liking the video, and you can subscribe to our channel for this and many more videos like it. See you soon. Goodbye.